Hello. Today we'll be unboxing and setting up, or at least assembling, the Framework Laptop 16. This is a laptop that I have been looking forward to ever since I pre-ordered it in September. I will also point out that I wasn't very well when I was recording this, so hence why I wasn't talking, like on video, and why I'm doing a voiceover now. But that's how I've had to do it. I wasn't well, but I didn't want to wait. I was waiting long enough for this thing. I just wanted to play. So let's get into the unboxing and setup. I'd already cut the tape because I did that and then realised that I want to film it as well. Sitting on the top, you're greeted by the, I think probably the usual paperwork, quick start guide, etc. But you also get a few extra things if you were a pre-order like I was. This is the batch 10 unit, by the way. So this has a lot of improvements over things that would have come with batch 1. I'm editing this video right now on this Framework Laptop 16 and it is joyous. Yeah, for the pre-order one, you get a few extra bonus. You get a little, like a badge. You get some stickers. They might come with the production unit as well. And you get a nice poster, which I've put on my door, because I like it. I wish it was a bit bigger, though. Underneath that, you have your keyboard. You can only get one when you order it on the website, so you just get the one sitting on the top, surrounded by the bezel. Underneath that, you get some of your other modules. So I bought the number pad module, as well as the RGB macro pad module. And then in terms of spacers, I also bought the two LED matrix because they just look like stupid fun, and I'm up for that. The other remaining thing are the 6 expansion cards. Obviously, all of this you just configure on the website. I chose these ones, which I'll get more into a little later on. You also get the screwdriver, which you need to assemble the thing. It's the only tool you need. Underneath, you get the laptop, which has quite a good bit of weight to it. You can see me doing a little up and down shimmy there. And then underneath, you have some RAM and some memory. You can just tell them not to include this sort of thing if you already have some. I don't have any, so I did that. So there's more of the. I think that's the primary memory there. You can have two memory units in your Framework 16. The power cable as well, the AC adapter, that comes in 3 bits. So you saw the 2 wires there. One of the wires goes into the wall and one of them goes into the laptop. And they get connected on this box there. I don't have a desk to work on at the moment because my desk is a mess. So I just unfolded the box and I decided to just build the laptop on there. So on the laptop itself, there's a QR code. So you just scan that with your phone. And then it takes you to the guide on the Framework website. And from here, I'm following the step-by-step instructions. So the first thing to do is to assemble the charger, which is pretty simple. 3 bits. Really can't go wrong with this one. And now we move on to the laptop. It comes wrapped in this paper. So we just undo some of the adhesive holding that together. And then the laptop just slides out. Unlike the Framework Laptop 13, you actually get into this one through the top instead of unscrewing it from the bottom. You can see I was doing a little wiggle of the screen there because I've heard a lot of people say that the screen flex is like unacceptable on the Framework Laptop 16. In my opinion, it really doesn't have as much flex as people think it does, but I think they have improved it over the batches. The next thing the instructions tell us to do is to remove the touchpad spacers. There are two little clasps on the edge of the laptop. You just pop those off and then slide the spacers out. Same thing with the touchpad module itself. I was just admiring the underside of it because this stuff does look very good. And then there is a little interconnector cable just underneath. So then you have to undo that. The next step is to undo the 16 screws that are holding the mid plate down. That's that metal bit that you can see. You can just use the included screwdriver for this. They're captive, so you can't lose them. They just stay in. Very simple. Framework has done a lovely job with this. And then the next step for me, apparently, is to realise that there's actually 17 screws, not 16, and that I've missed one. So I had to get the screwdriver and undo that last one. No, wrong again. You had it right the first time, Mitch. There are 16 screws, but there are 17 steps to do with this mid plate. Step 1 was removing that interconnector that you just did. The other 16 steps are just removing the screws. I swear this thing is easy to assemble unless you're a complete and total tit like I am. The mid plate just lifts up at this point. It just sits on a couple of pegs that keep it lined up properly. And then we're on to installing the secondary SSD, which sits just underneath the primary one. I expertly filmed this so that you could see what I'm doing. The SSDs just sit in, and then you tighten them down with a screw, just to secure them in place. Some of these things you have to give a little wiggle to. Primary SSD just sort of sits up at an angle, I think about 20 degrees they say on the guide. And once again that's just held down with a screw. And after that you move on to the RAM. That is even easier. There are no screws for that, you just insert it and then press it down until it clicks into place. And at that point you can reinstall the mid plate. Very simple. You're basically just following the steps backwards. So reattach to that interconnector and then tighten up those
16
screws. I actually counted
incorrectly
this time. You can then install the keyboard or the other input modules that you chose. Of course I chose the British English keyboard, and then I for now want the number pad in there as well. So they just sit flush. You then install the touchpad, which you just slide into place. Same with the spacers. They just sit either side, or just both to one side if you just want to have a misaligned trackpad. Here I was feeling the ridge, because a lot of people have said that that ridge is quite sharp. A few people have even been cut by it. For me, it's definitely there, but it doesn't really annoy me too much. After that's all attached, you just make sure you push back in those two pins that you removed at the start. And then you can do the bezel. I chose the black bezel because I just think it matches the keyboard deck nicely. And then we're on to the final part, which is the expansion cards. Now the expansion cards I chose were a USB-C module, which you have to have at least one of because that's how you charge the laptop. I chose two full-size USB ports because most of my devices are still USB-A, so that's how I'm running things. I chose a HDMI port because that's what most of my displays use at the moment. I will move to DisplayPort at some point, but not right now. I also chose a micro SD card slot because I use those quite a lot when I'm working with GoPros. And I also chose the audio slot because I like to use my headphones. And that is the Framework 16 setup process. Installing an operating system was another task, but I didn't record that because that was just a lot of me just staring at a screen. I learnt the hard way that you can't install Windows 10 on one of these because Windows 10 doesn't support the latest AMD CPUs. So, yeah, that was a waste of money, but alright. I may do more videos on this laptop. just to show how it gets on, but I'm still using it now. I'm recording this audio and I'm editing the video on this laptop, and it's all going very, very well, I'm pleased to say. I don't have any complaints so far. Everything is running super smooth, and I'm actually quite impressed with Windows 11 as well. I thought it was going to be awful, but it's actually not bad. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ta-da!